Hello, and welcome to Tales for Life. In each episode of this podcast, we'll explore a folk or fairy tale from a different culture or region and discover the life lessons, values, and morals they offer that we can use today. Join me on the journey through the magical and meaningful world of folk and fairy tales. Hello, story lovers, and welcome to another episode of Tales for Life, the podcast that journeys through life one tale at a time. Today we go a little old and a little new in an episode I've titled, How You Look Today is How You Were Yesterday. Most of us glance in the mirror every day. Maybe not for long, but enough to make sure things are in order. Hair, clothes, face. It shows us what others will see. But here's the catch. The reflection we see isn't really about today, it's about yesterday. That is, what shows up today is the result of what you did before. Stayed up too late? Your eyes are red. Ate too much? Clothes are a little snug. And it works for more than appearances. Snapped at a coworker? Their silence speaks volumes. Ignored a friend's call? That delay lingers. So it's not just our appearance people see. How we treated people yesterday shapes how they see us today. In other words, people see our outside and our inside. There are plenty of stories built around this idea, but one you might not immediately think of is Beauty and the Beast. Today's retelling brings that theme front and center. Not just how someone looks, but how they're seen. This version is called Thorns and Velvet. A merchant, homeward bound and wearied by months of travel, lost his way in a winter storm. When the path vanished beneath snow, he found an iron gate, strange, tall, and half swallowed in ivy. It opened without a sound. The castle beyond shimmered with light, its windows warm, its doors unlocked. A fire lit itself when he entered. A meal appeared when he sat. He spent the night. Come morning, the skies had cleared. As he stepped through the garden, a bush of crimson flowers caught his eye. He remembered his daughter and thought a flower, just one, would be a welcome gift for her, and so he plucked one. The beast appeared. No roar, just presence. A tall shape cloaked in fur and shadow. His eyes, sharp and green like shattered glass, fixed the merchant where he stood. "I gave you shelter. You repay me with theft?" he said. The merchant trembled. He explained the rose, the gift for his daughter. "I will spare your life in exchange for the first soul to greet you when you cross your threshold." The gate opened and the merchant left, the weight of his near escape from death heavy on his shoulders. He opened the door to his home cautiously, hoping that some fortune would send something to him other than his daughter. It was not to be. She ran to him the moment she saw him. Her joy turned to silence as he told her the terms. And though he begged her to refuse, she answered quietly, "The gift was for me. I will pay the price." The castle received her in quiet grace. Servants glided through halls without footsteps. Music whispered through distant rooms, but she saw none of it. Only the beast. She feared him. His heavy footsteps, his unmoving gaze, those same hard green eyes that watched her silently from across the room. She kept her distance. They began to walk together, not close, but near. She spoke of birds and clouds. He answered with trees and stars. His tone softened. His gaze warmed. The green in his eyes still held depth, but no longer cut like glass. One day he paused beside the garden and said, "You do not fear the snow, but you fear me." "You're not the snow," she replied. That night, a book appeared in her chamber. The pages held stories he had written once long ago, before the fur, before the silence. The next day she asked him to tell her one aloud. He did. His voice, rough at first, softened as he read. Soon, walks turned to conversations, conversations into long evenings by firelight. She noticed how he listened, how he waited before speaking, how he never reached for her hand, though he clearly wished to. She noticed how her fear faded. One morning she asked to return home, not to escape, to bring her father. "There's to be a wedding," she said. He said nothing, but the gates opened wide. When she returned with her father, the castle was alive. Servants lined the grand hall. Music filled every corridor. Light poured from stained glass in colors that hadn't shone for years. And at the garden's edge stood a man, not cloaked in fur, but in velvet and gold. His eyes, green, familiar, lit up as she approached. She ran to him. He took her into his arms, and the roses bloomed brighter than ever before. It's a great take on a familiar tale, and it speaks right to today's theme. If you know Beauty and the Beast, you know the prince's beastly form wasn't just a punishment, it was a reflection. He mistreated someone, and suddenly the outside matched the inside. This retelling leans into that idea. The beast wasn't cursed just for show. How he looked was how he'd behaved. Now think about how that plays out in our own lives. When we act with harshness or indifference, people may not see fur and claws, but they do see coldness, distance, maybe even danger. Like the merchant's daughter arriving at the castle. She didn't know his history, but she felt the weight of it the moment she saw him. His appearance carried the memory of past choices. But that's not where it ends. Not in the story, and not with us. Just as the beast began to act with care, restraint, and thoughtfulness, he was gradually seen in a different light. No speeches, no apologies, just quiet change. And people in our lives respond the same way. Our small decisions reshape the way we're received, slowly turning apprehension into trust, fear into warmth. Change doesn't come from magic, but from small, consistent choices that shift how others experience us. So wherever you find yourself today, in front of the mirror, in a conversation, in a moment of choice, remember, how you show up now is already shaping how you'll be seen tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Be sure to join us next time on Tales for Life, where stories illuminate the paths we walk, and sometimes the ones we still need to find.